Okay, apart from me kicking Rob's drink, this is another edition of Blazing Geeks. I'm Nick.
Damn it, Nick. I'm Rob.
Yeah, well, we have to shake off
The rust.
The rust of not doing a podcast for
months of no casting of pods. But we're back. And why are we back, Nick?
And to talk about last night's Smallville episode featuring the Wonder Twins.
True. But we might be doing this more regularly again because you have a...
Yeah. Well, we have a schedule now. I mean, from now on, we'll do the show on Tuesday and Saturday, which are the days that I'm off from work. Because before that my schedule was constantly changing. But now I've got a concrete one. So here we go.
All right.
So here we are.
Let's do it.
All right. Well, as I said in my earlier posts, I was not looking forward to this episode because, it's the freaking Wonder Twins of the 70s Super Friends era.
True.
So yeah, I was expecting it to be pure cheese.
Well, I mean, out of all the DC characters that you could get the rights to, you chose the Wonder Twins?
Yeah,
really?
I know. It's like, oh god. But it wasn't god awful as I thought it was. Actually, I quite liked it.
I thought it was okay.
Yeah. So
should we do a little summary of it?
Yeah, do a summary. Okay, so the episode starts with a Clois wet dream.
Yeah, pretty much. You're right.
Yeah, and Lois is off in La La Land, and Clark goes, Earth to Lois.
Mm-hmm. They're at their desks.
Yeah, they're at the desk, and Clark, knocks over his drink.
Alright, now we're getting too detailed with it. Just give a synopsis. A synopsis, Nick. Not scene by scene.
Okay, a package arrives, and it's actually it was a big crate full of undercover cops that were posing as drug dealers. And Lois, asks, like, who did this screw up? And then the crowd goes outside and sees a giant graffiti of the S insignia on a building. So Lois instantly thinks, it's the Blur, and everyone else does too.
Right, so basically throughout the entire episode, there's a bunch of, the beginning half of the episode, there's a bunch of, blundered,
reckless.
Blur, saves.
Superman.
And then it eventually is discovered that it was an impersonator who was actually trying to do good, and that impersonator is actually two people.
Zen and Zaya.
Zen and Zaya, the Wonder Twins.
With a reference to Gleek on their cell phones.
Yeah, that little blue monkey on their cell phones.
Yeah, and their little ringtone.
Yeah, which is just his chittering.
Yeah, who would want that as a ringtone? It would be so goddamn annoying.
The Wonder Twins, because they're so goddamn annoying. Seriously. Yeah. I mean, the way they played them was exactly like out of the cartoon
there was, I think they said, Zaya said holy something.
Yeah, they were right out of the cartoon almost, I thought. Except not their look, just the way they acted. Yeah. They're both kind of gung-ho, oh yeah,
we're so enthusiastic by Superman's work.
Yeah. Which I guess is okay, because that's kind of what they are.
And they are the younger generation.
Oh god, help us. Younger than Clark.
Yeah. I mean, we already have a Teen Titan, on here. We got Cyborg, so.
Well, I don't even acknowledge that, because...
Yeah, but I have
you
to point out...
can't go by the comic canon, and we've said that a million times before.
Yeah. Despite some butchering of certain characters, and we're not going to go into that.
Mm-hmm. Right, so back to the synopsis. It eventually causes the DA of Metropolis, who's this corrupt guy...
Yeah.
To call out the Blur. And say,
yeah.
Get to come out of the shadows and come help us. And then, I guess it's divided into two parts after that. The final half of the episode is divided in between Lois and Clark, and then Chloe and the twins. It's two separate storylines that happen.
3 words, I don't care.
Well, Chloe's advising the Wonder Twins, the Super Twins, is advising the Wonder Twins, to save him even from himself sometimes, and basically, she started to get very, very, controlling, and she came off almost like a Tess Mercer type thing. She was there with, I don't know, Nick's making, he's swallowing bullets.
I know, put a gun to my head and pull the trigger.
But didn't it seem like that? She had, the high heels, and she was in the shadows and stuff,
Yeah, and she showed arrogance, too. When she said, even he doesn't know it.
Yeah, I know, and she made a face, yes.
Yeah.
And the other half was Lois basically... Well, when Clark was gonna, expose himself to the city, but Lois went on stage and, stopped him and said why it was good that he was secret.
Yeah, but also the repercussions of the kiss from Crossfire.
Right, and she pretty much, Clark pretty much falls in love with her there, more than he did before, because, she understands, you know what I mean? Yeah. She knows she gets him,
Yeah.
And then,
the funny scene where she figured it out.
Oh, yeah, and because, I don't know, some Wonder Twin mess up,
because the brother.
Yeah, the phones... Well, you explain it. During a
Yeah,
conversation,
the voice modulator.
messed up and she
Went
heard
out.
Clark's voice. So she, like, figured it out. But I just wish he had told her then. Instead of, like, doing the big ruse.
Yeah, because we still can't do it. We can't.
And then but he was thinking about telling her, and then Chloe called. And using his voice.
I don't care about her hypocrisy.
So basically, I mean, long story short, Lois finds out about Clark, then believes that she was wrong about Clark. There's more tension there, and then the Wonder Twins kind of, I guess, joined the Justice League as like, sort of like auxiliary members.
No, it was more like the Man of Steel dressing to them like it was sort of like a PSA thing. Like you gotta believe in yourself.
Yeah,
like,
it was. And he stepped out of the shadows and showed them his true face.
Yeah.
And they were all like psyched.
But it doesn't matter. He's still that figure.
And then he also another important point of this is that he confronted Chloe.
Oh yeah, about being such a control freak.
And about spying on him and stuff.
Of course, ends justifies the means.
And it definitely foreshadows when Chloe goes too far. It's definitely foreshadowing that.
And her inevitable fate.
We don't know if she's gonna die, Nick.
Well, she should.
Yeah, we know. Anyway, it ends where Lois actually gets up and kisses Clark.
Boy, and Clark goes, yeah, you knew I had a secret, and he turns around, and he's wearing the glasses.
And he said he was,
But then he takes them off.
he was nearsighted.
Then nearsighted. I struggle not to wear these.
Yeah, and she's like, it's called contacts.
Yeah.
And then she gives him a kiss because Lois, throughout this whole episode, has been going to a therapist.
Yeah, because of the flashes she's been getting of the future.
And because
which doesn't make sense because the Legion Ring was programmed to go to their time period, not 1 year into the future.
And her it's all about her feelings for Clark and the Blur, and like how she thinks of the same person for a while, and then basically the therapist screwing with her head.
Yeah.
Like giving her all these different theories and whatever. And then in the end, she has like another super attack.
Seizure.
Like a
seizure.
And she sees the future again.
Which segues into next week's episode.
Which I'm thinking is when we see what Lois did when she went to the future.
Yeah.
And you follow her
in the timeline where she didn't come back.
Right, when well, I'm thinking, no, it's her time when she was away.
Well, yeah.
We see next episode.
Well, that's what I meant.
And, Under the Red Sun.
Mm-hmm. Because of Mercy's solar tower.
And that's pretty much the synopsis.
And that's pretty much the synopsis. I did find it funny that the Blur's ringtone was actually Holding Out for a Hero, which is basically the song from Footloose. And, like, Lois is like, and then Lois, was like, well, in this episode, Lois's belief in the Man of Steel, kind of was tested. So, she kind of, like, hung up on him and stuff, like, and...
But then in the second half, when she defended him on the podium, and then she went
up...
the
DA comes
and
and
she
like,
went
oh,
up to-
you just...
She went up to the roof, and she was tricked. And even when she knew Clark was the Blur, and she was going to kill herself, she was going to let herself die because she knew that he couldn't give up his secret.
I don't know, I kind of didn't like that.
I like that. I thought that was like, she knew that he was more important than her, and that it kind of also justified why he can't really have a relationship. Because it's a target, and also because he can't put one human being above anybody else.
Yeah, but as we all know, Lois and Clark's relationship does work.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is I see Jarrell's point now, and so did Lois. It was that you can't put one human being above everybody else. You can't save her and expose yourself, because that would be the end of that would be the end of the Clark Kent Superman, like, alter ego. Like, you can't...
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can sacrifice all that good, just even for Lois Lane.
Yeah.
And she knew that. And that's why she, like, eventually, she just fell. But luckily that the Wonder Twins were there to kind of mask it with fog and become a Rottweiler. To scare the DA, I guess.